Okay. Hey, internet. It's been a little bit. Kirimo podcast episode. Awesome. What we got?
I don't know, 112, something like that.
Yeah, it's only been a year though. It can't be 100 something.
I think it's like 30.
Yeah, it could be. It's probably 30, but we say a different number every time. We go like,
Yeah.
we say like 210, 11, like, episode.
Whatever you're benching that week.
Yeah.
345,
Yeah,
350,
Yeah, I need that. I need my pre-workout on top of that. I'll say hike, but Chiefs. Sorry, guys. Don't know what to tell you. If anything. So, no, we are overly excited. For this. If you guys didn't know, me, Sean Austin, we do like to lift and keep the gains, but we got two of the. This is going to be the most testosterone episode we got, and everything. But
this is episode number 405.
Yeah. Combined. I was going to say a combined weight, but I'm not on there. So anyway, all the way from Planet Buff and Asgard, Brandon and Hudson. I was gonna say Brandon, Hudson, White, and I almost said like the white boys, but it's the white dudes.
Well, I mean, he's true.
I'm just saying. They know the white dudes, but no, I'm kidding. The buff dudes, Brandon, Hudson. Welcome to the Hero Association. Welcome to the show. How are you guys doing?
Great. Yeah. Thanks for having us.
No, man. I think congratulations are in order first for you guys, because your app is killing it, and it really just you really just made a community, even more of a community as far as the app. We'll get into all that and everything, but how's it feel, man? You guys just launched. I know it was kind of years in the making, but man,
I'll let Hetson take over on this one for a bit.
Yeah, it was years in the making, and I know as the three of you guys know, I mean, starting something with friends, and in our case, it's family, because it's me and Brandon being brothers, it's tight-knit, and you have very strong ideas, and you don't feel satisfied unless you get those ideas out. So that was kind of the struggle in the beginning, is you have this clear path of where you want to go, but then it's like the imagination is one thing, and then it's actually doing all the work to get there. So you're like, well, I know what we want, but how do we get to that end goal? And that took a couple different pathways, because we worked with some other people who kind of maybe overpromised and underdelivered, and then that's very frustrating, because you're like, oh my God, I've just spent a year of my life. And again, when it's kind of a passion project, so you're not necessarily getting paid for the time you're spending, and then you feel that time is gone, you're like, why would I ever do that again? And then we did it again and it failed. But then the third time, this time, we're very happy to say that it was finished. We really didn't believe it was even possible until it launched. And then, you have some kind of launch problems. It crashed. You're going, oh my God, here we go. We got to the finish line and it's destroyed. But I guess that's what it's like. That's what running a small business is like sometimes. There's a lot of nervousness because you're the one in control. So it's either successful or a failure, kind of based upon whether you want to quit or you want to keep going.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And it was funny too when you think about it. It's kind of like, the three of us, of course, we're not related by blood, but we're our brothers in spirit, and we're trying to do this. It's like scheduling gets mishaps. People have life going on, and you guys are brothers, but still at the same time, you got lives and you got things going on, family, whatever else, and it's like trying to build something that is like to your mind, like you can envision it, but just getting it down in like physical form is hard. But this is cool, man. Like, I love the fact that you get experience points, and it's like, I don't know if you guys heard of solo leveling, or like if you play like RPGs, basically how you put stats into your character. It's so cool like that. I was back in the day, I was trying to think of something like, hey, what if you could make an RPG of yourself? So like everything you do, where you like work out, or maybe, I don't know, like if you work out or do a strength lift, it goes towards your like strength stat point, or you like read a book or do whatever, it goes towards like your intellect. So you like do all these different things to get points, but it's so cool to actually like see a concept of that in the app, where like if you work out, you do whatever, you level up, you like go Super Saiyan, or you power up, or if you gain, or if you do your workout and you put stats in there, you get experience points because it's like a game.
Yeah.
So it's you're your own main character, which is like so cool to see because so many people they always want to play video games, or they may think that like they watch other people become the main character, but like this kind of helps you to say, you know what, no, I'm the main character, let me work out and train so that I can be the one on here. That's it's so dope.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Sean. You're right on our wavelength, man.
Yeah.
That's totally
Yeah,
what
for
you know.
sure.
It's a game we refuse to even talk about because we were so addicted to it. But it was that damn Diablo. I don't know if you guys have ever played that
Yeah,
game.
too.
Oh my god! I
There
mean,
it
so
is.
much. I'll give Diablo credit. It inspired us, but we're like, we have PTSD from that damn game because we were just in it for so long. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was like what you were saying, Sean, with kind of like the solo leveling and building yourself up. We had this epiphany as like teenagers. We looked at each other and we're like, what are we doing with our lives? We built these little dudes up so high. We could have spent this time on ourselves. So I think a little bit of that was stored in the back of our brains. And then as you were saying, it's like, well, what if we could kind of do it to ourselves? So you put all that time in and you're like, oh, I've bettered myself.
Like, how do you
Kinda
take
like
that
this.
same addictive nature in the manner of like you're more invested in it because
Yeah.
you're like putting
Right.
time into it. Because as you guys know, when you play video game RPGs, you invest so much time into a character, you're devastated if you're playing on hardcore, you die. I mean, you lose all that time. Or maybe
Yeah.
if you just put all that time into it, you want to invest more. It's like the sunk cost fallacy, right? So with the app, we were just thinking, well, God, I mean, if you could kind of have that same connection to yourself, which I think a lot of people will just take advantage of their own health
Yeah.
and just go on their day-to-day activities and not really think about it so much. But if you have kind of, like what you're saying, Sean, is like, you see it, it's like basically creating yourself. You're the video game character. How cool would that be to be able to then, have a bit more investment in yourself that way?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's a really cool concept because I feel like the age that we live in with social media and like fitness influencers or any type of influencer, people look at that and they either will put themselves in it, or they're like, oh man, this guy's so cool, this girl's so cool, like they're doing this, they're doing that. But meanwhile, like we're the ones just sitting on our phones watching these people live.
Yeah. Yeah.
And somehow just the thought of, hey, you know what? If I do this, I can gain the experience points. It kind of helps with that dopamine kick of, oh, well, you know what? Now I'm putting that invested into me. So I can go ahead and go do this instead of watching somebody else. Or like, hey, maybe even if I eat better now, I move better, I feel better, I look better. It like propels you to do more. It's just so cool to be able to see that concept because a lot of times you get the fitness app, it's just fitness.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just like, okay, I
Legit.
put it in, you got your workout and your diet plan, and then that's it.
Yeah.
But to see, like, you actually get points and stuff back for it, you get a reward. And that reward helps that dopamine kick, which is what people are like starving for now.
Yeah.
It's an accountability. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's an accountability type deal too. Especially when it comes to training, because everyone that's here knows it's like you can work out for a minute and
Yep.
you're not gonna see any progress for a while. And especially like, I mean, we understand that, and we've been lifting for a while, but then there's the person that just starts getting into taking care of their own health, taking care of exercising and trying to get fit and healthy. They're not going to see those results for a while. But having an app like yours is good because it's accountability. Now I can actually see, even though I don't visually see the progress, I know I'm making some kind of progress somewhere, and it's being tracked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people need that as opposed to just grabbing a GLP-1 and shooting themselves up with something. Jeez Louise.
Yeah,
Do you guys train together?
Yeah.
yeah.
I haven't.
Yeah,
with
we
you
have,
guys,
yeah.
We're all in Connecticut, and like we're all half hour away from each other.
Oh wow!
But we've been boys since we've been boys. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a really rare thing.
Yeah.
Which is pretty special. I mean, speaking of kind of the online world and accountability, online communities are fantastic and that's amazing. But man, it's just the flesh and blood
You gotta know each other.
really, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
just priceless.
Yeah, Austin, I don't know if you guys mentioned it before I was on, but like Austin and I were starting to train like really seriously.
Yeah.
So I became a personal trainer when I was in 2017. It was a goal of mine, but then working in like a corporate gym, I was like, you know what, man, this isn't for me because just the way it was in the sales of like, of course, we always have to sell ourselves in anything we do, but it didn't feel right because you're selling supplements people don't need and everything else, and they don't really care. It's just down that rabbit hole of like, hey, I want to make money. So there was that concept of it, and I left that, and I was thinking, you know what, maybe I don't know, maybe let me try to start being online, start making content. And then in 2019, like Austin and I started taking it real seriously.
Yeah.
We were training. I entered Christian Guzman's summer shredding, but the online competition, and I was going hard trying to make content. I was building it up, and then Austin was training in what 2020. When did you do your bodybuilding competition?
That was 2022.
That was 22. Okay, yeah. So in 22, yeah, Austin did his first bodybuilding competition, and I was still trying to work on my like Instagram, whatever else. But I was involved in so many accidents. I was literally hit like 3 weeks ago. I was in another accident. So I got herniated discs in my back and everything. So I don't go as hard right now because I'm in PT, but I'm hoping once I actually get better again, I can, start going hard and trying to make more content.
Yeah, injuries are tough. Setbacks like that can be rough. I mean, Hudson can probably speak a bit more on that because he broke his ankle in like 3 places. And and he came back, much like you, Sean. I mean, you just come back stronger. You kind of go through the whole physical therapy part of it, and then who knows, in a year or two you're stronger than you were before, right?
Yeah.
So that's always rough though. That's always really, just mentally, just because then you got to start back over. And I think a lot of people can, maybe not even from an injury, but just through life. We'll take a long extended break, and me and Hudson been through that too, where we might take a little bit of a break, and it might not be that long, but even just a month or two, you kind of slack a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you just feel like you're starting over again. You're like, oh God, all right, day one. Right?
Yeah.
We set ourselves up for failure with a name like Buff Dudes a bit. We're like, oh my,
Buff. What happened?
Yeah, I was gonna say
we're just the dudes now. Okay,
we're trying to earn the buffness back.
That hurts.
I'll be right back.
Cool. I was gonna say, so like, what are we always talk about, because we're comic guys, movie guys, anime guys here. So like, Peter Parker had bit by the spider, Superman back here from Krypton. So what's like the origin story of the Buff Dudes?
Yeah, I think it was really, we can trace it back to our dad, man. I mean, just speaking about you guys growing up, you were boys, back when you were boys. I mean, that to me is so important, is someone there to help kind of grow like that interest within you. So it was really our dad, honestly. And I mean, he was always the pull-up contest guy, the push-up contest guy. So even if he was pitting me and Brandon against each other in these kind of like sadistic challenges, we were developing some kind of love and fear for it. And I think that was like the earliest kind of the inkling of, I think this is fun.
Shout out to Duke Way, because that man always hits me with a comment anytime I put a post up, and like without fail, and I'm like, Papa White, I'm gonna shake your hand one of these days. I don't care.
Oh yeah, I was joking with him the other day. I'm like, man, when we can be profitable with this thing, we're gonna hire him as like the official app greeter. Or
Guys, I think that's awesome.
He's a wild man. He's on top of it. I'm like, thank you.
And, I mean, and it's kind of cool to see too, because I feel like he's more regular with his workouts, more consistent because of that accountability.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see his posts and how he's kind of the one that really actually gave us the idea to implement the community page. Because at first we were thinking like, maybe we'll have it later down the road, maybe not in version 1, but he's like, man, this is really missing like a community page for people. Are like, man, if we better get on that though. So I think he was a pretty important aspect, to get that going right away.
No, I'm loving, and I'm loving, like, you're bringing everybody to get everyone supportive of each other, like through the comments. I think I'm always getting like a new request like every day, and following someone every day too. So I'm like, I don't know these people.
That's awesome.
Way more
And
healthier than.
We hope that continues. It's probably our favorite part as well. And like Brandon was saying, sometimes you don't even realize it until it's there, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
wow, I'm glad that was implemented.
Yeah, and it's way more healthier than any other social media and everything. I think.
Well, and you brought up a good point earlier as well, just regarding kind of seeing influencers online and things of that nature. And I mean, we kind of live or try to live by this to avoid kind of like burnout or frustration of our own, is it's always not comparing their highlight reel to your behind the scenes. Because, with you guys and me being dads, and you can look at yourself sometimes and go, oh man, who am I? What am I doing? But then you're thinking, well, yeah, but they're curating the best version of themselves.
It's the best set.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say that too. Social media is so toxic. It's nice to have a community where you can actually go on and people appreciate the work that you do. It's so funny too. It's like there's so many trends and different things that happen. For example, like you could post something, and I have a friend who he's trying to build his content, and he posts like in the normal sense of how influencers post now, kind of like the whole like algorithm type deal where I don't know, you maybe make a video about something, but it's kind of like short clipped and everything else, so that way you can kind of explain stuff, but you go to the captions, and he like follows that whole algorithm. But anyway, there are certain times where he'll post about like boxing. Now, he has boxed before, but because he doesn't look like a boxer, and maybe I don't know, he doesn't look buff or anything else. He's very lean, but he doesn't look like he works out with a shirt on. People will like just roast him in his comments, like, you don't know what you're talking about, like, oh, you need to box before you do this, you need to start doing whatever. And he's like, I box. I've been to classes, like this is where I box, or whatever. They'll like judge him by like the gloves that he wears, like, oh, real boxers don't wear those. And it's so crazy that you can't even post anything on social media without somebody like just hammering away at you. But then you have the opposite, where you will post something or somebody on social media and they will like praise you. They'll give you all this attention. People will like, good job. And I feel like taking the best of that world of building a community of like-minded people that want to be better and are all kind of in the same boat and like thinking, it's nice to have that. Because sure, you go to the app, you can work out and build yourself up, but it's kind of like, again, RPG. If you like playing an MMO, you play with your friends, and now you can see all their stats. Like, oh, I didn't know you were a wizard, like you're a warlock, or oh man, like, oh, I can't believe like your warrior class or like your berserk class or whatever else is legit. So you can like build a team and you build a party, and then as you build the party, you all gain more experience because you're all training together. It's just nice to see. It's like, again, that gaming aspect of fitness, but again, it builds community.
Yeah. No, I think I'd be. I know. I'm not sure what class I fall under. If this is RPG,
you're a bard.
No, man, I'm not. Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna mute you.
There was like no delay between Sean and David.
I know, right?
Like,
that was quick.
I know what I thought. At least be monk and everything.
I mean, you could be a monk. At
least be monk. You know what? I'm gonna think about this hard too. Man, I got.
I don't mind. I'll be the bard. I'll just spit insults at people. Like, I was
gonna say, they tell the tales. They kind of control the history in a way.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, you guys are fighting, throwing hands. And I'm just like, you stink. Like, background, making people cry.
You know what? I guess we actually might as well talk some RPGs. I mean, you guys.
I was gonna ask, what game are you guys playing? Any specific games right now? Any games you playing?
So I'm replaying Final Fantasy VI on
I've been seeing that.
Yeah. I said I don't know why. I just woke up one day and I said I think I need to. So all right, I'm split between two worlds. I grew up on a lot of Street Fighter and arcades and tournaments and all that. But then like also RPGs like Final Fantasy 7 or Chrono Trigger or Mass Effect, yada yada. And
Ooh.
then so right now, yeah, I just woke up and I said I'm gonna play that 6 again. And I lifted up a train and with Saban and suplexed it the other day. So yeah, but I feel like I haven't played a modern. I feel like I don't, as far as turn-based in a dog's age, and I'm not sure
Yeah.
if it's just being busy or, like my son, he's not, hasn't, I don't think he's ever played RPG before, but
Really?
Wow, really?
I don't think Lucian's ever played one.
That's abuse.
It probably is.
Yeah.
That's abuse.
You don't know.
How-
You don't know suffering if you haven't played like.
You don't know.
RPG.
I think that's the thing too. It's like if you get an RPG, you got to be able to commit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you got to have 100+ hours that you're ready to freaking commit if you're gonna play an RPG.
Yeah.
Your parents
That's-
never understood that when you were like a
No.
12-year-old.
They don't
You're
get
like,
it,
"Guys,
man.
You know,
I
serious.
made an investment here.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Like you're at work. You have a job. I'm like, bro. I'm literally
Well-
trying to save this. I'm trying to save Boulder's Gate. Why are you mad at me?
Baldur's Gate.
You're an accountant.
Yeah,
right, right.
I'm
saving
saving
the
the
world.
world.
Listen, Ganondorf wants the Triforce of Power.
Yeah.
They don't get it, yeah.
What do you-
Galen
They have
sat
no
his
idea what's on
parents
the
down
line.
and he's like, listen,
Listen,
the Triforce.
yeah, it's
You'll
like,
never understand it, but,
what did Will Smith say? Parents just don't understand. That's what Will Smith said.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
told
Yeah.
no lie, if
Yeah.
anything.
the
Nah.
modern day bard.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he may
No.
be a. He may be
That's who
berserker.
That's who you're shadowing. Will Smith.
I Will Smith.
Yeah.
He may be part berserker if he's slapping comedians.
That's
I mean-
true, yeah.
Depending on
Yeah.
the mood, depending
Yeah,
on the
he,
occasion.
he hit Berserker's rage at that point. You're right.
No, we just watched iRobot, and I'm like, that's a good movie. I think it's sort of underrated, and for me, in I Am Legend, that movie still scares the black off me.
They got the second one. That's a lot of black. They got
That's a lot
the
of black.
second one coming, bro. So
With Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
Wait.
Um,
You said I Am Legend scares you?
Yes.
Why?
I mean, it's not a fairy tale.
It's
I
not
don't-
scary.
I know it's
I
coming
don't-
true. Now it's a documentary.
Yes. Yes. Essentially, it's just.
You know what? Actually, now that we're on the topic of film,
So it's funny you say that though, because I'm not even trying to like when I saw the movie, right? It could be so my mom back in the day, she had no concept of like, hey, you know what? Like this is a scary movie.
Yeah.
Growing up. So like I think I was maybe 6 or 7, and my mom took me to see like Jeepers Creepers 2,
Oh wow.
with my cousins and everything else. And then I'm like,
Yo, Charlotte.
oh wow,
what?
I had like nightmares, whatever else for a while. So I'm like, you know what? Like I don't want to see this anymore. But then like after a while, I became desensitized. So like I saw I Am Legend, I was like, it's good, but it wasn't scary. But Ashley, my wife, she said they went to her brother and sister, her mom, they went to go see that movie when it first came out.
Yeah.
She said she was so scared, like they literally left the theater. Like her mom was like, "Sorry, but we're gonna have to go."
Yeah.
I was like, Ashley, I would have been so mad at you for making me waste my money for that ticket. I was like, we would have had to been scrapping. Like if we was kids, we would have been scrapping. We'd been in the middle of the theater. I was like, we can't see it. And then she was like, yeah, my brother and sister were kind of upset, but they, like they just left. And but the thing is, she'll watch, like, I don't know, Stranger Things isn't really scary, but she loves Stranger Things or whatever else. And I'm like, how could you watch this?
Mhm.
Like, I Am Legend scary. And
Dude.
she's like, I don't know. I'm like, well,
Dude, that movie. I'll be 39 next month. The movie still messes me up. I don't know.
Well, it's. I think with some people, because Galen, my wife, is the exact same way. It's like
Yeah.
the running undead or zombies. It's
I don't-
like it
I'm not
triggers
with it.
something. Yeah.
You know what? I think just becoming a dad, I'm more scared of everything.
Yeah.
Just by default. So I don't like jump scares. I don't like things jump at me. I like happy endings. I'm corny like that, but legit. Yeah, you guys would know. You're my wedding, so He gets along with anybody.
Yeah, that's good. That's good though. I mean, honestly, I don't really watch a lot of scary movies, but I feel you on that. It's kind of like the running ones. There's a Korean show that's on Netflix, and it used to be a manga or like the or manhwa, the comic. It was called like All of Us Are Dead. We're basically in Korea. Have you ever heard of Train to Busan?
No.
Okay.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Yeah, Train to Busan was great. But basically for some reason
I did see that. I did see that one. That was good.
Yeah,
Really good.
so for some reason Korea has like a fascination with like zombies. And they made a show called All of Us Are Dead where basically the zombie there's like an outbreak. People get hit with this virus cuz this teacher creates it. So they all get infected and they're going crazy. But from seeing the trailers on like Netflix, the way they're like spinning themselves and running, that's the worst. Like the ones that just be walking, like in those movies where they have them just like kind of crawl into the side, it's like that's scary, but you can run. The ones that's haul, like going full sprint and you can't run from, yeah, that's the thing right there that's kind of like, oh no.
Nope.
Yeah, I can't, that stuff right there, I can't do it.
Nope.
Because you can see the face all ripped up and they're just chucking at you at like 30 miles an hour. You can't run. It's over.
I just got to be faster than you, Sean.
Huh?
I said I just have to be faster than you, bro.
You're sick.
Right,
You're
there you
sick.
go.
That's what I'm saying.
Come on.
I just got.
Yeah, Sean's got has that bad knee.
That's what I'm saying. I got a bad
We're
bag.
already figuring Sean, man, you're getting thrown under the bus here.
Yo, I got a bad bag, man.
Yo,
Dude,
he
you
called-
just gonna let me go,
He
man.
called me
He's
a
got to
bard.
trip you, and then that's it.
Yeah, he called me a bard, man.
Thinking about that though. Yo, but you could use
Taylor's gonna remember that in the zombie
Yeah.
apocalypse.
The receipt, your receipt's coming.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we got to talk about magazine dreams. I know it's not comic related, but Jonathan Majors getting
That guy.
what?
Well, that movie was made 2 years ago.
Was it?
Yeah, it was made
Wow.
2 years before now, and
Yeah.
then his whole
It's great, man. It looks great.
yeah, it looks fantastic. His whole debacle came out, but I'm with it. I mean, I don't know where he is now, but yeah,
he
I'm with
he
it.
had a ton of momentum, and it's crazy. I mean, I don't even really understand a lot of that world. I couldn't even imagine the pressure of all these people building you up, and then something goes down, and then literally you turn around and everyone's gone.
Your
And it's like
career's
a single sagebrush is rolling by, and you're like, "What happened, man?"
Yeah.
So it's you. Damn, there's some mental fortitude there for sure.
That's what
I was
happens.
impressed with his performance in Creed 3.
Right.
Yeah.
He looked good.
He was so good in that. I mean, that's what happens when Paul Rudd beats you up in Ant-Man 3. You just
Oh,
You're pissed.
yeah.
I'm coming back, man.
Yeah. Your career just sort of dies after that. The guy was in Clueless. What do you want? Anyway.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, I got beat up by the guy from friggin' Clueless.
Yeah.
Oh,
At
love
this point,
stepsister.
yeah.
Yeah.
At this point, it's like Jonathan. I heard was the movie Magazine Dreams that was presented at a film festival, right?
Yeah, I think Sundance.
Okay, Sundance. So then, yeah, he was, and Creed 3 came out about 2 years ago, right? Because that's when he was in like
Yeah.
really good shape. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah, around that same time. He's got
Okay.
Michael Jordan in that junk.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I was gonna say, with that being said, I don't know, not to segue, but I know you guys have videos where you talk about how to get started with the new year, how to get started in fitness and everything. And I kind of always build my philosophy over much of what you guys say all the time, like make it consistent, get a meal plan that you can stick to, foods that you enjoy eating, and a training program that you can adhere to that's going to help with progressive overload. With those being said, is there any like specific things that maybe like little things that you could recommend to somebody just like trying to get on their journey? Because everybody wants to look like Jonathan Major, but 9 times out of 10 you're not going to. And who knows if he's enhanced or not. I'm not here to say, but at the same time, maybe somebody trying to get on that journey to be like that.
I think we would just say, just start. Right. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of sometimes the most difficult part, like, because you start overthinking it. Yeah. Oh, well, what should I do? How many times a week should I go? What exercises should I use? And And obviously those aren't bad questions, but start with just simple movements, all the squats, bench press, learn them, perfect them. And really you can get extremely far with just full body. One we always recommend is like a 5x5 type program that will focus on progressive overload specifically and trying to increase the weight over time in each one of those lifts. And it's not a huge investment, 3 days a week, full body, each workout, maybe an hour, depending. And just start there and continue to, progress from there. But I think now what we're talking about, the social media or just the internet in general, where there's so much information is online, I think more than ever, people start to overthink things. Everyone, but how do I optimize my training even more? Because it's 2025, there must be all this new science, which is true to a sense, but a lot of the science might only have 10 people that they're getting their information off of. So it's like, okay, well, protein is said that you can have 1.2 grams per pound of body weight. Or, well, this article says you shouldn't go over a gram, you should have maybe 0.8 grams. Right. And then now new research says, oh, well, now it doesn't even matter. Now you can have much protein as you possibly can eat, and it's fine. Mm-hmm. So like once you start kind of getting into that and start, you won't start because you're like, well, once I understand it, then I'll start. Once I finally get the perfect formula, the perfect protein, the perfect exercise, the perfect, to really try to get the most complicated exercise routine. It's the whole paralysis by analysis, right? Mm-hmm. Where you start to just get paralyzed with so much information, and then you think everything you're doing is wrong. So you start doubting yourself. So I think we had the benefit of starting out in a way without any of those influences like the internet or social media.
Yeah.
We had our dad, we had maybe some old muscle magazines, and we just started doing it. And yeah, of course we probably did a lot wrong, but we still got benefit from that, right? Yeah. Because anyone who's just starting out, being kind of those noob gains, they call it, they're going to see benefits almost no matter what. And as long as you're trying to perfect your form and you're not like injuring yourself because maybe ego lifting or improper form, you're going to see results, no matter what. And then you can slowly fine tune from there. But I think that's what our advice would probably be. Is just
to add on to that too, Brandon, I would say it's like, us using the example, we're talking about video games, and I like to try and almost use other examples. I mean, learning a new language, learning an instrument such as like, the guitar, even playing a game like a MMO. You could look at someone who's advanced and two things might happen. One, you may immediately hit that wall and go, God, I could never be as good as that guy. There's just no way. I mean, it's just not humanly possible. Or you could even look at, maybe to use another example, like a video game, and you could go, okay, well, they're using like an aim bot to be that good. And that's what I think the fitness industry is so plagued with is, of course, the usage of anabolic steroids, testosterone. I mean, it's just it's more prevalent than it's ever been, really. And that's what's kind of sad, because you look at someone like Jonathan Majors, who, don't get me wrong, looks amazing. I mean, he's like in the top 99% of all physiques. I truly, truly believe that physique is achieved naturally, but the thing, it would just take years and years and years to get there, but it definitely is doable. But we've been so desensitized. Now you see a male physique that looks even close to that, and it's like, oh, he's on drugs, and you're like, but that's not necessarily the case every single time. Yeah. It is a possibility, but it's not an absolute. And it's almost like, to use like the video game example, it's like you can be an excellent, let's say, first person shooter player. That doesn't necessarily mean you're using an aimbot. You could be, but you could also just be a really damn good player who's invested years and years and years of their life into it. So it is kind of, man, you almost can't get too wrapped up into it, because you get so frustrated and you get so disappointed. And I know me and Brandon, we've seen guys at the gym, and you just go, how in the hell does that guy look that big? And then you look at yourself and you're like, Jesus Christ, I look like a beanpole compared to this guy. Like, you can't compare yourself to people sometimes. You just have to be like, damn, I'm working on myself.